Got every intention of making it sick. So there's been a big spanner thrown in the works. 240Z back there at the back of the shed, that now belongs to me. So they're both mine. But one has to be sold to pay for it. That didn't sound like it really made sense, did it? Problem is, I quoted that to Freddie. I way underquoted by a lot. Now he's good enough to take a refund on what he has paid me so far, and I'm keeping the car because I originally bought it and sold it to him as a rolling shell with no rust, which means I had to fix all the rust first. Now I shot myself in the foot big time with that, because he almost paid me everything he owed me and I still got a lot of work to do on it. So basically I'll be working for free. No one loves doing that. So 240Z's now mine. 260Z is always been mine. Now one of them's going to sell to pay for the other one. Whether it's my 260Z or the 240Z, I don't know yet. I'm going to finish the 260Z off first and sell it complete, and if it sells complete, then I'll use the money to finish the 240Z off. But if it doesn't sell, the 240Z will also go up for sale after I've fixed all the rust and painted it, but it'll be for sale as a rolling shell. So either way, one of them has to go, because there's no point having two of the same car. Well, they're not the same car, but very similar car. Now that brings me to a few changes which I'm going to do with the plans on the 260Z. Now, originally it was going to have the L28 with triples, but now I'm going to put the original matching numbers engine back in it with twin SUs. So that brings me to a few changes I've got to make. One in the engine bay is that little pivot point for the linkages on the SU. I cut that off for clearance with the triples to tidy up the firewall. Now, lucky I kept it, because I'm going to have to weld that back on. Either that or I've got to rig up some sort of cable system for the SUs. But I'm going to try and find my linkages, and that's the way I think I'll go. So, yeah, that's next on the list. My shed is still a mess, but it is the weekend. So today I've moved my car forward so I can tackle the last of the rust and weld up a few holes in the engine bay before I start doing some body filler in there and getting it ready to prime. Be a massive goal to get it done by tomorrow and all primed by tomorrow, but I don't know where I will. So yeah, I'm going to start with that bit of rust in there, so they'll make it up. It's a bit of a funny shape, so I'm going to have to weld it and fold it as I go to get it into the right shape. Okay, and then there's just a few unnecessary holes, like those ones there and ones there and so forth, that I'm going to weld up. So it's not a lot of welding to do, but there's a bit of filler work to do. So yeah, I better get into it, eh? Sound like a Canadian then, hey. Cut out a little bit of metal like that and bend it up. Well, I'm not going to bend it straight away. I'm going to weld it in and then bend it up. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to get in here. whirled properly.
Another day, they'll eventually mend. Rachel hate, don't care if you gay or straight, just go and be free. Women's rights, they'll put up the fight. It's all about equality. Don't start no religion. It don't matter to me. So much hurt. This will not work. So much pain, and it's all in vain. Oh, I'm offended.
Okay guys, that's done. Simple as that. No more rust. Got to put a hole for the bolt for the guard and put a nutso in it. So I'm just going to slip the guard back on. Get it in a rough position and drill a hole.
Worry about my life. You've got your own to live.
So this is the nutsert gun, and that's a nutsert. Works similar to a pop rivet. It's got all the different size threads for different size nutserts. Screw that onto the end and you squeeze the lever and it squeezes it up together, and it squeezes itself onto the piece of sheet metal, and then you can screw whatever you want into it. So see if I can get you to watch it from the back side so you can see the squeezing action. So to set the gun up, I usually squeeze the trigger and it pulls the back thread right to the back. Then you thread that through there and you screw it in. Now the thread's poking out the other end. You see how it pulls in and out as you pull the lever. So the nutsert, I've drilled a hole to match the size of the shaft of the nutsert. You just screw that on the end, like so, and as you squeeze it, it'll pull the nutsert in. So now you just put the nutsert in the hole like so. I'm going to back it off a bit because the gun's too wide. There we go. Takes a bit of force, then you just screw it out. And there you go. You've got somewhere to screw your 6mm thread bolt into, and it's fixed. It's not going to go anywhere. So I've been hunting around for this bracket here, which I cut off, and it's been floating around in my shed for the last couple of years, and I can't find it now. When you don't need it, it just pops up everywhere, and now I can't find it. So I'll leave that bit there until the last minute. If I haven't found it by the point of no return, then I'm going to cut that off and I'm going to make up a new one, and probably out of box tube or something like that, and then yeah, that's just the way I'll have to do it. I'll show you how these linkages go because I've found the rest. So anyway, these linkages, got this swivel point here which bolts there like that, and that goes to the carbon and turns the throttle linkage in. This bit here actually goes through this here, like so. I think it goes through there, I could be wrong. And then that bit there, that pivot point, goes on the bit that I cut off. and that linkage goes into the accelerator, and it works like that. It pivots and turns the throttle. A little bit over-engineered, but it works. So yeah, I'm just going to can't find that to weld it back on. Then I'll make a new one. I might make it so it bolts on. Right. I found the pivot point. As you can see, it's a bit bent, but I can straighten that. So I'm going to weld it back onto there. So I'll just weld it through the base first, and then tilt it up and weld it on the side, and then weld the where I'll drilled out the plug weld. And I'll weld it back on, get it all nice and straight, and then it's good to go for SU carbs again. As you can see, I have done a bit of filler work smoothing out where I've welded in the patches. The engine bay is very close to being ready for primer. So, love yous and leave yous. That's about it for today. Well, this weekend. It's a new week starting tomorrow, so we'll get into it then. It's going to be a little bit boring, so if you don't see me for a week or so, it's because I'm getting right into the body work and smoothing out all the filler work. So it's not very exciting to film, but I'll try and keep you updated as I go anyway. Once we start putting it back together, then it's going to start looking good. No worries, guys. I'll see you later.